in dance, usually the happy accidents hopefully happen in the studio as supposed to on the stage because of the danger of running into one another, the danger of injury and all of that. So there is a structured chaos that happens. But in the studio, in the creative process, being in the studio with the dancers, there are what I call, these happy accidents where a dancer misinterprets something, and that misinterpretation is gold. And sometimes it is a very subtle thing. It could be using the right arm instead of the left arm. It could be using the same arm as leg, but that is usually counterintuitive because the way we walk is in opposition. But that mistake the dancer made with same arm and leg creates more interest because it goes against the grain, and people tend to gravitate toward, like, what's not in place here when an audience is looking at something, just as a way of sort of manipulating the eye of the audience or the focus. Sometimes you'll have a whole group of dancers in the studio running, one way, and then a dancer sort of hears it wrong and is running solo the other way. It reminds me of myself when the one time I got the ball playing, I was terrible at sports, awful, and I didn't like to play. And in junior high, they would sort of try to force us to play. And I would hide on the side of the school with my friend Lazaro, and he would talk all about the Cuban culture and all of that, and what they eat. That was much more interesting to me than running around in the hot sun. The one day they forced us to play, and I got the ball, and I ran. Nobody could catch me, and I was just, I can do this. But I finally looked back and realized nobody was running after me. Everybody was laughing because I was running the wrong way. So sometimes those kinds of things happen in the studio, and that becomes a part of the dance, that thing that was totally not supposed to happen. On the stage, that can happen, but usually after that, the dancer just gets a lovely note to say, please don't do that again. So in that way, it's not like jazz or something where there's the notion. Now, some dances are. Some choreographers are very specific to letting things be a bit more free. Personally, I tend to be much more organized, that I'm very specific in what I want.